Hello, Imogen Heap here. This is the final blog for the European Mycelia World Tour, and we had an amazing week in Finland. It was fantastic. Just before then, I went to New York in between Copenhagen and Finland because I wanted to go and raise some sponsorship for the Mycelia World Tour in the States, which some good stuff came from that, including being invited to the 2019 Think Conference in San Francisco, which previously led to a collaboration between IBM and Mycelia around the digital identity passport thing that we're doing, the creative passport. So that was really, really good. Anyway, lots of good stuff came from that. Maybe you'll hear about it another day. So we came back and it was the 4th of December, and the first thing that we did was to go and do our Changemaker Forum. The final one of the year. Oh, great musicians, great minds, some really good services, and we did it in this place called the G Live Lab, which is a beautiful venue, and we also did the acoustic show there. And Chosto came down, which is the PRS of Finland, and they have an initiative called Mind Your Rights, which is a really cool idea of being able to put your playlists in one place when you go and do a show, and it alerts all of the other performing rights societies of what your set list was, so that you don't have to go through this big long process. So they're a really cool, forward-thinking rights collection society. It was a fun day, actually. It's also beautifully equipped with generic speakers because it's their space. And upstairs, they've got a radio station called Helsinki Radio. And I met a man called Henry who interviewed me. It's really fun. Talked a bit about the show coming up, which was actually sold out, so nobody could come anyway, even if they found out about it. It was a really fantastic day. The next day, on the 5th of December, we've been really looking forward to this meeting with this organisation called Sitra. So they're a government-funded organisation to work on projects around a fair and sustainable future for Finnish and European people. And they'd been to 3 different conferences that we had done talks at and demos at and workshops at, and had been reaching out to us because they felt we would be a good group to take part in their IHAN project. And this is about kind of human-centred, fair data exchange. So by having an identity, you decide who reads your data, who looks at your data, who you want to share your data with, and potentially who you want to sell your data to, instead of other people selling it without you knowing. So that you get the benefits of your user data, and you can create better experiences and, maybe get less rubbish advertising and all kinds of things. You can switch things on and off. So they've got this group, they had this call called IHAN, and we wrote our proposal and we won. Well, lots of people won. I don't know how many, maybe 10 people won some money, which is fantastic. It's the first time that Mycelia has actually got some funding, some external funding. So we're so happy and we love them so much. They're really fantastic people, and we're really looking forward to working on the project with them. So thank you, Sitra. I feel a little tear welling up. Thank you for your support, because we've been really waiting for something like this, and it gives us a bit of space to stretch our legs and get on at a much faster pace developing the Creative Passport under a more high-powered steam. So thank you, and we really hope that we give lots to your project. The same day, on the 5th of December, I went and did Slush, which was a huge conference, which is really fantastic, very dark, like a club. You walk in, it's very kind of vibey. And I did a little talk with Christopher Leacock, who was moderating it, and Gillian, the artist. And we talked about emerging technologies in music. And we had some good questions. Fun, enjoyed that. I also met a man called Phil Chen from HTC. He's their decentralised chief officer. And we sat in a little booth, and he had a film person who's filming me. Anyway, he asked me some questions about what I'm up to, and you can see that interview online as well. Next day, on the 6th, we did the acoustic show at the G Live Lab. And then it was the same day as this big event for celebration of Independence Day. And we met a really lovely lady called Lottalina, and Scout and Lottie's daughter were running around. We're watching all these people in these amazing dresses. So the next day, on the 7th, Chris and Zoe Keating arrived. Zoe's a dear friend of mine, and it was really, really great to have her, because this is the first time she played on the tour, and she's coming to the States with us. Well, she lives in the States, and she's going to be playing all the shows with us, so good to have her there. We went to the Christmas market where there was a carousel, and it was freezing. We had to wait for a really long time, but we went round and round on the horses. And yeah, kind of celebrated the end of the tour, really, because it was very successful. We managed, well, we still had the last show to do, but basically we achieved everything that we hoped to achieve. And we didn't know it at the time, but one of the goals was to try and get some funding for the Creative Passport, and we later discovered that after our meeting with Citra that we did get it from Citra. It's pretty successful all round, really. And then the last thing that we had to do was the concert, which was sold out. It was a fantastic end of the tour. Great fun to have Zoe on the stage. I really loved having her on the stage, and so much that I, invited her to come on the US tour, which is not really what she'd normally do, because she's this brilliant artist in her own right, and sells out great theatres all by herself. But we're lucky that she's going to come on tour with us. So thank you, Zoe. So that was the last show. It was great. And then afterwards, we took a big picture of everyone on the tour backstage. And I think Scout was still awake. And then I think we probably had a few drinks. But we had a very big day the next day, because normal people might have gone, okay, now we go home and we relax. But because it's my birthday, it's my 41st birthday, I sent out like 200 emails over a couple of weeks to lots of musician friends, and just said, look, we're going to have a quiet launch, not a public thing, just to have a few of us sign up for the Creative Passport. We got there, literally just got off the flight, went there, tons of people already there, lots of musician friends, and engineers, producers, musicians, all kinds of different people. And how we did it was, we have our phones, and you go to a website, a personal web app, and we basically put in our name and whereabouts we are in the world. So you got a QR code on your phone, and then you could go to somebody that you know and you say, can you verify me? And then they take a picture of your QR code, and it makes this link between you. So this is the beginning of the peer-to-peer network for music makers, so that we can verify each other. We can be a self-sovereign identity system, peer-to-peer verified. And with that amount of growth and peer-to-peer, we can develop something on our own merits, to our own standards, where we become a trusted entity. And, at the moment there's just a couple of hundred of us, but in the future, who knows, there are millions of us all around the world. And then we would have such an incredible position to be able to move the industry in our favour. Because if it moves in our favour, then it moves in everyone's favour. If it doesn't move in our favour, it doesn't actually move in anyone's favour, because there's nothing left there to support the new growth for music of the future. So we hope that this was the beginning, and I think there were 50 people on that day, and we all signed up for our Creative Passport, and then we have a little map where we could see our names pop up. Yay! The beginning! And that was the small, humble beginnings of the Creative Passport Network, which in April, just at the beginning of the tour in Miami, we hope to launch something a bit more public. So there we go. That is the beginning. That is the beginning of the Creative Passport, kind of officially, but the end of the European tour, and it takes us into 2019, where we're now going to go and do our first tour of the year in the United States of America, in Miami. So the next blog that you'll see will be from there. Okay.